Hi there. These comments are for Abu, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And I'm listening to your pronunciation pretest right now. You are one of my TOEFL speaking and writing boot camp students. Now, let me just give you a little bit more information about the writing part of my course. As a writing bootcamp student, you can actually have 2 of your videos error corrected. So when you're ready, follow the instructions on the outline, and I will error correct. Usually what students will do is I'll error correct an independent writing task and then an integrated writing task so you can get feedback in that area. Right? That's kind of how that works. And then after that, you can still send me practice tests every day. And then typically my teaching assistant will read, evaluate, and score, but not correct all the errors in all of those tests. It's just too time consuming to do that. So I do offer it twice. So basically you get about 1 to 2 hours of feedback on both of those writing practice tests. I hope you see what you need to do in order to improve your writing. Okay, back to speaking. So you did the pretest part A. Here is what we know right now. Lesson number 7, you definitely need to work on this lesson more. Lesson 10 was very tough for you. Get. You're having trouble with the longer vowel sound. Same thing in lesson number 11. And then lesson 12, the oo, Luke, tool, cool. Also lesson number 13, in this case, it's usually the CH or SH when it's in the middle of the word, like feature, fisher. That's where you're having more trouble. Also, lesson number 14, in this one, pay attention to the V when it's in the beginning position of the word, like fine, vine, or fan, van. Also, lesson number 15, I'd like you to focus here in this lesson, the glottal stop part of the lesson. Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, and threatened. Lesson number 16, you're having trouble with both of these sounds. Lesson number 19, especially with the P, you want to make sure you're pronouncing that with more air. And notice, even when the P or B are at the end of the word, the vowel is different. Notice this: flap, flab, cap, cab. So voiceless consonants tend to make the vowel longer when they occur before those kinds of sounds. Also, lesson number 20, I think the Z, zip, zoo, maze, Eliza. So you're having trouble with that Z. Lesson number 23 and also 24. So those are the lessons I think you should focus on the most. I'll say them one more time. Lesson number 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 23, and lesson number 24. Now, in addition, you're going to answer these questions, which also gives me some important information about.
I have completed my undergrad and graduation in biochemistry and molecular biology from the University of Dhaka.
I wouldn't say I have completed because you're done with that. You're no longer doing that. So I completed my bachelor's degree in. So I want you to go to Google and study the difference between the present perfect and the simple past verb tense.
After completion of graduation, now I am working in a pharmaceuticals industry as executive quality control. The name of the company is Star Pharmaceutical Bangladesh.
Now, when you do the next recording, test out your volume and make sure that it's a little bit louder, because the louder your recording is, I can always turn it down if it's too loud, right? But I cannot turn it up any more than it is now, and it's hard for me to hear it. So make your recordings as loud as possible. I can give you better feedback on your pronunciation.
The improvement of the speaking score and pronunciation skill is so much important for me. Usually the US University admission committee expect a higher TOEFL score from the candidate because
Yeah, and I think that if you're doing pharmacy, you'll probably need to score between 90 and 100 with 26 and 24 points on the speaking and
Of usually the PhD candidate have to be a teaching assistant for first.
I'll say usually the field candidate has to, not have to. So that's a subject verb agreement issue. And also when you're speaking, Abu, you're kind of speaking in a monotone. You need to vary your intonation more than you are, and that helps you to speak more naturally.
Second year, and they are expecting that their effectivity is the undergrad student. That's why speaking high score is so much important. After completing this course, I hope I will get my target score 26 or more, and maybe I can get admission in the PhD position.
Okay. So you want to get 26 points or higher on the speaking section of the test, right? That's fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to give you what's called an intelligibility score. Now, based on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 is what I consider near native speaker fluency. 1 is a high beginner of American English. I'm going to put you in the middle, about 3.5 out of 7. I will attach the intelligibility scale to this email so you can look more, you can understand more about your speaking limitations. So what does it mean for you? It means at this point, if you want to get 26 points or higher, you will need, you have to get a lot of exposure to the language. Maybe 3 or 4 2-hour movies a week to start. Make sure that you're watching a lot of documentary, news, history, maybe science programs. That's also good. Try to talk to native speakers as much as you can. There's no way to get 26 points on the speaking unless you triple. Whatever the exposure is you're getting right now to English, you need to triple that exposure. So you really have to concentrate in that area. All right, so thank you very much for completing the pretest. And now you know specific lessons that you can study in my course to improve your intelligibility. And you also want to start completing speaking practice tests a few times a week so you can get more feedback from me.